Two different studies found two different outcomes if the sick time initiative becomes a reality. One found it will save money by cutting turnover costs by nearly $38 million a year. It could also save about $7 million in health care costs by reducing ER visits. But the second study says the sick leave would cost businesses between $70 million and $82 million. And more than half of the affected businesses would see a drop in profits. To talk more about the sick time controversy, we extended an invitation to Orange County Mayor Teresa Jacobs, who was advised by the county attorney not to talk about the issue for 20 days while the county prepares a response to a court order in this matter. We also reached out to Jacob Stewart, who represented local businesses in this fight, and he became ill himself this week. In addition, several individual businesses passed on our offer to discuss this hot-button issue. We do have State Representative Scott Randolph, a local attorney, who took up the sick leave cause, and we will also be joined by one of the petitioners as well. I heard you chuckle a little bit when I talked about the people who refused to come on the show or couldn't for various reasons. Well,
Mayor Jacobs has found it perfectly reasonable to talk openly to other shows and to other TV stations. I certainly hope Mr. Stewart's employer, who gets about $2.5 million of public dollars every year, doesn't dock his pay, considering that he probably makes close to $2,000 a day, half of it being from public money, because he would certainly fit into about half of the employees in Orange County who have no access to paid sick time.
The big issue here is the fact that so many people are not full-time employees, do not have sick time, and they appeared, at least on paper, to go through the proper channels and get the signatures to get it on the ballot in November.
That's exactly right. Look, we followed the charter. The charter specifically says gather this number of petitions and that the county commission has to act. They either have to adopt the ordinance or reject the ordinance and then pass a resolution to place it on a referendum within 30 days of the supervisor of elections, telling them that the requisite number of petitions had been gathered. The supervisor of elections told them that on August 17th. They had till September 16th to act. They delayed. Immediately after the supervisor elections told them that, every county commissioner, except for Commissioner Tiffany Russell-Moore, sent a memo to Teresa Jacobs saying, let's not take this up till the full 30 days is out. So they didn't take it up during a regularly scheduled county commission meeting on August 28th. By the way, they could also call emergency county commission meetings on 12 hours notice, so they could have taken it up on August 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, anytime during that time period. They basically took a knee and tried to run out the clock, and they were successful in doing so because Commissioner Brummer, working with the Republican Party of Florida, intentionally, flagrantly violated the charter provisions, and that's what the court's going to decide here in a few days.
When you look at this issue, though, Mayor Teresa Jacobs said that basically the language of this was too confusing. The way that it would be presented to voters would be very difficult on a ballot.
Well, look, if she's going to parrot the talking points of out-of-state big businesses, we could just save ourselves some taxpayer money and vacate that position of county mayor. But look, so I'm surprised they haven't found death panels in this ordinance yet. The big business boxes, the big businesses are just trying to create confusion among voters. And I'd love to have that debate, but we don't get to have that debate now because thanks to the Republican Party and thanks to Brummer and 3 other commissioners, we won't be having that debate this fall because they violated the charter, which is basically the constitution for the county. Think of it as the county's constitution. And Brummer intentionally and flagrantly violated that constitution for the county. So there will be no debate about earned sick days. But what's worse, for the taxpayers of Orange County, the reason that we tried to put this on the November ballot was because there was already an election going on, so it wouldn't cost anything. And in fact, you talk to the supervisor of elections, he had reserved a small space on the back of the 3rd page. So if the county commission had taken this up before September 11th, it would have been zero cost to the taxpayers for us to have this debate. Instead, what they risk now is that a court's going to order a special election, and the supervisor of elections will tell you that will cost this county more than $2.5 million. So Fred Brummer and the Republican Party are risking $2.5 million of taxpayer money simply because they wanted to flagrantly violate the county charter.